Hello, gang. Welcome to Sketching with Izzy. We're just continuing the Doodlebug from last time. Hope you're all doing well. Just gonna have a nice, relaxing Sunday. Laziest sneeze in the world. Achoo. I'm usually a pretty violent sneezer, so I had to control it. So you didn't see my face explode off in a shotgun blast of doom. We can keep it super chill. Pipe in whenever you feel like it. Otherwise, I'm just gonna quietly paint this ridiculous monster I've made. Oops. Wrong layer for that. That's the one I'm after. So I have a secondary now primary light source, which is kind of antithetical to the statement, but yeah, so I have my light source that's coming through the window, and I now have installed the light source from our TV set right here, which means I need to start thinking about the cast shadows from that. The entire family of shadows can exist for any light source, which is just another one of those like really crazy compounding things that happens in the wonderful and fun world of painting. Getting rid of some of that reflected light. There's no reason for an orange reflected light when the closest thing to his little buggy body is a blue love sack. Gareth, how's it going, buddy? How was your game? You are an incredible liar, sir. That was quite impressive to see. I was watching Gareth earlier playing Among Us, and I'm not super familiar with the game, so I got to kind of pick up how it works on his Twitch channel. So you just finished? It looks like it's a hoot. I'm down. I got to give it a try. I don't know if I can bullshit on the fly like that. I'm curious. I want to try. I was very impressed with that turnaround in the game that I was watching that you did. That was very cool to see. You just got to say it with confidence. No, because you did some pretty on the fly, like real quick decision making, changing in tactics. Like, it was impressive to see. You gotta own it. That was much more than faking it till you make it. It was pretty good. Are you playing that mostly now? Yeah, it's a good one. You must be finishing up for the night, huh? The numbers are great. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I imagine, yeah, you get to kind of, they're in on the joke, right? So you can play that part up pretty hard. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, imagine after all those horror games, it would be a good change of pace. Oh, how are they doing? You were watching the Seahawks earlier, right? Didn't know you were such a footballer. Wow. So it's going to be a late night for you, my friend. I imagine most football games these days last like 3 or 4 hours, eh? I haven't seen one in a while. Actually, they might be quicker, eh? Without an audience. It's all digital or something now. Isn't he fun? This is the Doodlebug. Emmy was on here helping to art direct. It was very funny. I'm just aiming to finish him up today. We'll get started on some of the new stuff. This is his day off, watching his stories. Otherwise, he's slung in the cars. I love it. God, I love this. These ink brushes for erasers are so cool. Great, such a nice sketchy quality to the line. Makes it feel real organic. It's quick and easy contour lines. Kind of show off the shape a little bit of the pillowy thorax going back in space. I always look for places to do that, little strokes. I think before I get too much into this light, I'm gonna have to really finish out the flesh and everything underneath. It's tough because you can end up, you know, so much stuff is really rendered and then other parts are just line work and it just doesn't go well together. Gotta just managing detail here and there. Like I really gotta figure out these little flipper hoofy claws he's got. Ooh. What is that? Oh, that's the knee. Let's get rid of that momentarily. I'm gonna do just a quick glazing multiply layer and knock back some of the lights. By punching up these shadows on this wall here, we're going to see more of the glow from the TV, which I think would be beneficial for casting the light, making it clear that the TV is a light source. Just a doodle. I'm taking a break from the project temporarily. The day job was a call-in, so I am gonna be signing a contract in a couple of days here to do art direction for a new video game for a new studio. So the project had to take a little back burner for the moment. Thanks, Zidfoid. Welcome. Little doodle time. This is the Doodlebug. But yeah, I've worked out, Gareth, a pretty great deal. The company that I'm going to be working with is super excited about the prospect of doing game development on Twitch, like sort of as a show. So essentially I'll be doing this and working my job at the same time, which I think will be really interesting. Right? I thought that would be kind of a cool thing to experience. So I'll probably be on more frequently, maybe for shorter periods, but like every day instead of just a few days a week. And I'll be on for a couple of hours, you know, show the stuff I'm working on art-wise and game-related development things. I think it should be pretty interesting. Looks more like a bed bug. Yeah, he's a snug bug. I'm going to just go ahead and use some of the lines that I already have as accent values. Just push them even further. Definitely going to have to figure out all of this. It's really hard to draw an ellipse with a lasso tool, but if you just get in the meat of it, you can always fix it later. Well, you have the lasso tool selected, or rather, while you have some pixel areas selected with the lasso tool, I try to get as much of the information down as possible so I don't have to reselect, because I'm lazy. So we'll turn it off and on. You can see, get the information down. It's enough. We'll pick a different brush, do some quick accent values, some implied ambient occlusion. What program? This is Photoshop CS6, so it's a really, really old version of Photoshop. I prefer it because it's not locked to the internet. I've been working so far from the internet for so long that I was always freaked out about whether or not I'd have an internet connection and then be able to actually turn on Photoshop. So that's a nightmare I like to avoid, period. I am not a big fan of subscription-based services if I can avoid them. You get the lazy feels. You hate when you use the lasso tool and the selection ends up looking out of place. Yeah, that does happen. I mean, in the case of the mug, we do want some sharp edges, but you'll see I still kind of try to blend things down in places. Or another way to soften your edges would be to just kind of pick a slightly different color, or rather a value that's lighter or darker. And then soften that transition just a little bit so it feels a little less digital. You know what I'm saying? Dimbiot, welcome welcome and thank you for the follow. I can speak the English. I got that. Hammy, welcome. This is the 2012 Photoshop, 8 versions behind. It's vintage. Yeah, I guess it is. Do you have a copy of Photoshop 1? I think I started on 2 or 3. That was back when it was like this panel was only maybe like 6 tools or 5 tools, something like that. It was a long time ago. That's right. You don't gotta speak no good. Did you catch, Hammy, did you catch any of Gareth's show with the new Among Us? I'm outing you for not being a good fan and friend. It was a good show. I really like that game. I gotta get into it. It looks like it's pretty hilarious. You started on 3.0 at uni? Oh yeah, that's right. Layers were new. Holy shit. That was 3? Maybe I started after 3. Maybe it was 4. Because there were layers, but they were really rudimentary. Yeah, I'm on it. Is it on Sony or is it just PC, Steam, all that good stuff? That would be hilarious to broadcast. Oh shit, how's Crunch going? For those of you not familiar with game dev vernacular, crunch is when you're working like double and overtime. Usually with some specific goal in mind. Like you got a vertical slice to finish or something like that. It is something I'm not a fan of. I'm sure Hammy's got horror stories too of like sleeping at work, 20+ hour days. It is not the best feeling. When you're running out of time and you're ass behind, for sure. I feel like it's kind of baked into the whole production process though, yeah? Oh, iOS, so I could play it on my iPad? Nice. It's interesting. I'm seeing like weird edge artifacting, and I'm really wondering if this is my video card freaking out. I don't know what's going on. Not sure if you guys see the edges being like this kind of sharp. It's not the end of the world until it crashes, knock on wood. It's just texture? No. So that last brush was just a hard brush, but there's some kind of... It's like an edge aliasing that seems to be happening with new strokes that make it look extra sharp, much sharper than it should. And I think it's the rendering of the... Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think I'm having... Well, I know I'm having issues with my video card. I just ordered just a fuck ton of fans. Check this out. Watch out. Haha. That's all fans. So I'm going to definitely cross overheating off the list. I'm setting up tomorrow as computer surgery day. So I was going to do it today, but then I was like, if something goes wrong, I might miss the stream. So I didn't want to risk it because I'd miss you guys. Yeah, Noctua's the AN 140s, I think. Or yeah, sorry, an FA. I'm thinking of a Call of Duty gun. Yeah, that's the guys. 6 of them. They seem to be pretty good fans. That's what I have on the on my CPU. It's pretty powerful. It was relatively cheap, but these are the 140 full size, and they'll be going in the front. So I'm going to set it up so there's a 3 on top for exhaust, 3 in the front for an intake, and then 2. I'm taking the 2 from the bottom, or 2 that are in there right now, putting them on the bottom to draw up. So yeah, they're great fans, but holy shit, are they ugly. Like, I hate how they look. But I decided that I'm not going to really worry about making my computer all pretty. It has a couple of colorful things in there, little lights and doodly bits, but it's just a Computron. It doesn't need to be purty. I know that's anathema to your being, Hemi. It must all be pretty. This is a pretty good way to get like a nice speckle or model feel. It's just to do some quick tip touches with the with the stylus, real quick, little stippling, and then blend it slightly with the smudge, and you can get some nice model texture. Looks really good for skin, carapace, leather, metal, depending on how you do it. Like, you could easily take that same effect and then just grab like a lighter value and start implying like divots in it by picking up the light and then hitting that light so that it pocks according to the lighting situation that you've got, and it makes for really subtle but easy modeling on your figure or whatever it is you're trying to render. Just buy a mini aircon at this point? Well, no, it's actually way more expensive for that. I think all of those fans cost me like $60 or something like that. It wasn't very much. And I mean, they're really good fans. They run on the 12 volt really well. They are not 12 volt. They're like tiny parse. They're the 4-pin, 3-pin set. So they can run off of the motherboard no problem with all of my extra little optional power connections. If I can use hydro dip computer fans, I don't know. What is hydro dip? Is that's not liquid cooled, right? Yeah, they're also pretty damn quiet. No, I think the design's good. It's just weird that they chose to make them brown and beige. Like, that was just... There is nothing computery about that. I'm sure that their thinking was, like, we're going to just look super different. But it's... I have a feeling there's a lot of people that just choose to ignore them just based on that. Like this little sort of shadowy area. I don't know what I'm going to do with his little paws here, his little hoofykins. I know I kind of want to make like little dimples that in the carapace that they live in. They're kind of like... They're like weird little sleeves. Oh, literally. Oh, you mean hydro dipping? Oh, okay. In terms of the plastics. Okay, yeah, no. I ain't messing with that. The Chromax fans are black. But are they the same price? It's too late. I'm already in. I can't be fucked. I don't care that much. It's kind of like naming my layers. Oh, okay, of course they're more expensive. Of course they are. If you want to save money, you gotta buy our hideous little brown ones. The colors totally remind me of like how components used to look, you know, back in like the late 90s, early 2000s, like that kind of gray. It's interesting. Every time I look at any like fancy new plastic thing, like no matter how cool it is, I always imagine what it looks like with like dust caked on oil after it's been sitting in the closet for 15 years. So... yeah, even fancy, cool-looking things, they never impress me because I always think about what it looks like down the line. And it ain't gonna be pretty. Make a Blade Runner PC, yeah. Boy, I am really wondering what's going on. So that's 100%. And there's like a kind of a strange pixelation happening on my end anyway. It's like visual noise. Let me make a whole new layer up top. Yeah, absolutely there's something going on. It's just weirdly, like, slightly grainy, and the edges are just a little too sharp. But it's weird enough. It's like it's this little splinter in my mind. Yeah, I've had that problem too, where the stylus doesn't get recognized or something's happening, and then it just does like a straight line. I hate that. They did narrow it down to having something to do with Windows Ink. So if you turn off Windows Ink in your Wacom preferences, that should lessen how frequently that happens, if it's happening a lot. You may have done that already. I don't know. Oh, I see. And they didn't turn on, they didn't account for Windows Ink. That's a shame. Windows Ink is super annoying. Also a possibility. Oh shit. Oh, that's just awful. Did they not update their drivers or something? I'm definitely kind of doing sort of a Ren and Stimpy kind of wrinkle texture, where his little creepy, strangely sausage-shaped hands come in. Uncomfortably sausage-shaped, shall we say. Definitely losing my G rating. Oh, dude cam. No, this is not what I did with the selfies you sent me. Those are hanging. I printed them on Polaroids. They're hanging from used flypaper in this shed that I keep in the woods. It smells faintly of cat urine. It's a special place. It's where I met the Yellow King. Hey, no worries. Thanks for hanging, Sid Foyd. Appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you again real soon. All hail and fear the Yellow King. Oh, I'm definitely crossing some lines here. I'm going to, that's a, nothing. Were you? If you've never seen it, you should definitely check out, what was that movie with Sam Neill? Not Shadow over Innsmouth. That's a damn Lovecraft movie or book, but it's based loosely on it. Oh god, I'm totally failing to remember that movie. The name of it anyway. I can remember all the scenes. It's so good. Hammy, do you know the movie I'm talking about? Sam Neill and oh shit, the guy that played the Warlock. You just see a sausage holding a cup. A sausage. Quote, end quote. Not Event Horizon, no, it was way before that. Let me think about it. It's basically, the premise is that Sam Neill is like an investigator or an investigative journalist or something like that, and he's looking. Oh no, he's been hired by a book company that wants their sort of Stephen King allegory to finally send them his copy of this book, but the copy, there's something about the book that's making everybody crazy. It's killing me that I can't remember that. Nope, not Dead Calm either. It super sounds like a Lovecraft story name too. Ah, fuck. I'll just look. In the Mouth of Madness, that's the one. Yeah. I just found it too at the same time, Cypher. So there. Death in Brunswick. Yeah, Into the Mouth of Madness. It's great. It's so great. I loved it. Yeah, if you like Lovecraft, check that one out. I've also seen a pretty good, I think it was made for television movie of The Witch House, which was super creepy. John Carpenter. Sam Neill was in Thor Ragnarok? Really? Who was he in Ragnarok? Maybe he was a voice of an animated character or something? Okay, I need to make some decisions now about this cast shadow that's going over his face. None of that's working, so maybe his face doesn't have the cast shadow on it. Let's commit to that. One way or another, we need to. I'm confusing myself because I'm using values that are living in the shadowed area, and it's not right. It doesn't work. He played Odin. Oh, that's right. That's so funny. Have I seen Color Out of Space? No, I did know that it's a Lovecraft story. That's what's his name? Cage, right? Nicolas Cage. It's on my to-do. I want to watch it for sure. I watched the trailer for it and I was like, damn, this looks crazy cakes. And it looks like it's very similar to that other movie that he did recently, which was sort of like a horror rock poster turned into a movie. It's pretty good. I suppose that is funny. He's a delightfully weird guy. And I love that he's just doing like all of these sort of kind of medium budget, crazy art piece films. I'm always glancing over here at my navigator. I want to see how things are comparing. Need good cast shadows for everything. Mandy, that's the name of the new one. Yeah, the other new one. Hammy, are you talking about Color Out of Space or Mandy in terms of something I'd want to work on? Yeah, Mandy totally looks like Hobo with a Shotgun. It's got that same indie like art house. Almost like that Tarantino feel to it. Yeah, Color Out of Space. Okay. The little bit of sort of creature work I did see I thought was interesting. It reminded me a little bit of another great Lovecraft-inspired story that was Annihilation with it was Portman, right? That was a kick-ass movie. I loved Annihilation. I gotta watch that again soon. I can definitely see how it wasn't for everybody, though. It was a little too weird for some. I thought it was very clever. I've been told that the book is better than the movie. It's based on a Lovecraft book, I think, dude. Cameron. Color Out of Space. I don't know. Have you read that one, Hammy? I've read a few Lovecraft stories, but I tend to like it's weird. This has happened to me in a few books that I've read throughout the years. Like when I read Starship Troopers, like what was it? Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? That I ended up kind of, I don't know, it didn't have the impact because so many things had been influenced by it already that it didn't, like, it felt cliche, even though it was the thing that started it all. You know, it's weird how that can happen sometimes. And so a lot of Lovecraft stories feel that way to me. They feel pretty cliche. I'm Trash, welcome! Hello! You not read the book? Yeah. I'm Trash reminded me of another book that I love that's kind of in the similar genre, The Stand, which I've heard they're making into another mini-series again, which I'm excited about. I loved The Stand. The Stand was the first over 1,000-page book, I think, that I read as a kid. And I remember carrying it around in my backpack, and it made my back hurt. Bloody Stephen King trying to kill me. I love that book. Trash Man. Or Trash Can Man. My life for you. Yeah, that is a rabbit hole, my friend, that is going to lead to some serious, miserable thought when you think about all of the wonders that have been lost throughout the generations due to fear and zealotry. Yep, see, I just made him angry for some reason, and I don't know why. I liked how he was kind of cute and bemused before, so I'm getting rid of all of the expression I just did. In fact, I'm getting rid of all of this right here. This is not... Nope. Nope. I lost what I was after. Let's turn this stuff off. Kind of had like a real wide-eyed kind of surprise look to him, which was cute. So I need his brow to be real smooth. Smooth and empty. Empty of thought and fear. Just bemusement and surprise. I am Doodlebug. We are all Doodlebug. So I came up with a pitch like a couple years ago for a movie idea that was meant to be kind of my take on cosmic horror. And it was, instead of the base premise of it that I really wanted to sell was, instead of a sort of the abstraction, the reality of the abstraction of this cosmic existence that's way beyond even human thought or capacity for thought, which would make the person experiencing it crazy. They've peered into the abyss, and the abyss peered back, and all that shit. What I wanted to do was change it so that the horror was through something else. It wasn't just the vastness of it. And so I came up with this pitch for like the basic idea was that there was it was based on this this group in Mexico that do kind of they do like guided meditation, soul searching thing using ayahuasca and like other crazy over the top hallucinogenic drugs, you know, real spiritual journey shit. And the idea was that this guru had kind of figured out or discovered some new substance, and this new substance, he was using it for couples, like couples retreat, group therapy kind of thing, where it was all about love. And the idea was that the guru had accidentally opened the gate, if you will, or a connection to an entity that you fall so deeply in love with that you can't do anything else. So it was almost like instead of madness, it was love, like love that completely takes you over, and the sort of adoration that the victims have for this entity from another universe just causes you to just sit there and to bask and decay. Super fucked up story. It got passed on. We won't talk about that. It doesn't hurt. I guess people don't want to think about love as a damaging thing. It was spooky. I did do some art for it. Actually, one of the images that you may have seen if you come in early and watch the countdown intro sequence, there's a painting of this sort of beached whale creatures, and that's actually the original image that caused me to kind of come up with that idea in the first place. The idea that, because it's kind of like beached whales, right? So the whales beach themselves, they die, but they come to shore for some reason, they're sick or whatever. But I liked the idea that these creatures beached themselves, these ancient deep water creatures beached themselves, and in their like crying death or their swan song, people come to them and just die, just sitting there and consumed by the beauty and the love of the thing. And I thought that was interesting. Your favorite sci-fi movie of all time is The Day the Earth Stood Still? That's awesome. I've actually watched that a number of times. The black and white you're talking, right? I didn't like the Keanu Reeves one very much. I think that was one of those things that just didn't need to be made, Should have pitched Danny Trejo as a villain. Probably. Beached whales are crazy dangerous. We had a really gross experience with one up here in Oregon. You can look it up. When I was a kid, a whale had been beached, and it had long died. And yeah, we won't talk about the Keanu one. And so this corpse was on the beach. I don't remember if it was Cannon Beach or something like that. And they needed to break it apart in order to, truck it away because it was so gigantic. And they ended up trying to blow it up or something like that. And the thing fucking exploded. It was just awful experience. There's only one, and it was made in 1951. That's true. Yeah, that's true. They get filled with gas. Who was it? There was a comedian that had a story about how they jumped off of a boat in Florida to go and they were trying to spook a manatee, and they jumped through the manatee because the manatee was dead floating carcass. What a shitty surprise that would be. Don't fuck with manatees, man. I'm telling you. Shit is nasty. Oh, Doodlebug. There's a movie about a hive mind city where time stands still and the creatures farm humans. Oh, wow. I've actually never seen the trailer for the original The Day the Earth Stood Still, but that was one of those movies that I watched until I broke the VHS. I totally remember that one. What you just described, dude, Cameron, kind of reminds me of Dark City. which was another very Lovecraftian kind of story. I loved Dark City. That was a really cool movie. Also, it had Jennifer Connelly, so yeah. The Day the Earth Stood Still feels very War of the Worlds. I think, weren't they contemporaries, like, in terms of timing? Yeah, it was Dark City. Yeah, it was a great movie. The pictures back here, they're pretty good. What I love about them is because of the light. So the light is gradating. It looks like the pictures are actually two different colors, like the base of them. One looks blue and one looks pink, and I love that. Simultaneous contrast, baby. Ah, I see. Yeah, they're definitely trying to play up that War of the Worlds feel. I've made his head too bulky on the top, which again is getting rid of some of that amusement I'm after. So I need to knock back the angle of it by changing the value. Oh, I know what's happening with the screen now. Oh, I changed the graphics settings. That's what it is. So it makes everything look sharper. That's why that's happening. I'm afraid to fuck with that while I'm actually broadcasting, so I'll leave that alone. But now that I know that's what's causing this, I'm a dum-dum. %95 on Rotten Tomatoes for a black and white 70-year-old movie. That's really not bad. It's a really good movie. Everybody should watch Day the Earth Stood Still. I can say that it's probably tough for some to watch just because it's so slow. But the character development is quite interesting. It was definitely ahead of its time in so many ways. There's a Star Wars link. Somebody that worked on it, or to my painting, because there actually is a Star Wars link to it, but I doubt anybody knows it. What's the link? Is it the name of some of the creatures or the alien is the name used in Star Wars? Everybody knows that, buddy. Yeah. It's also referenced in The Evil Dead. Oh, not The Evil Dead. It's an Army of Darkness. Army of Darkness and The Evil Dead are other set of favorites of mine. In fact, it was one of my first tattoos, the chainsaw. That's my only nerd tattoo. It's the only one. I mean, unless you consider all tattoos kind of nerdy, which, that's fair. Reference in Twilight Zone. In the Twilight Zone movie, the one with that terrifying ass rabbit, made me shit my pants when I was a kid. God, that thing was scary. A friend of yours worked on Star Wars Christmas special? What? Oh, okay. TV show for the Evil Dead. Oh, that's awesome. That was a great show. I like that it ran just long enough. What was it, like 3 seasons? It was just perfect. Didn't get fatigue. There wasn't really any wasted episodes. It was good. He's a weirdly fleshy little bug. Liggins, how's it going, my man? Welcome, welcome. I went with some friends today. We decided to meet up for lunch, but before that, we went to an archery range and took like beginner archery classes. It was pretty fun. I think I'm definitely gonna do it again. They were just messaging me saying, "Let's go more often." And I'm super down. Fuck yeah, cuz. I'm gonna be brown Legolas. Yeah, it was quite a bit of fun. One of my friends, she was really good at it. Like, it took her no time at all, and she started like regularly hitting the paper and getting like clumps, of less than a foot. Not so good. There was a lot of the arrow bouncing off of shit, which I don't think is supposed to happen. Yeah, I need a lot of practice. I need to get better at it. But it was fun. I really liked it. I think I will probably invest in a bow at some point. Ha! You've done it a couple times and had a blast? Oh yeah. No, I can see myself like thoroughly enjoying it as like a hobby and sort of a meditation thing. It was very fun. Plus it's good. I mean, it's for considering the times, it's a fairly socially distanced activity. So you don't have to worry too much about getting all up in somebody's grill. I gotta say for sure that this sharpening effect that the graphics card is doing is affecting my painting, like how I'm painting. It's so interesting. So I'm very curious to see what it will look like when I turn that off, because I'm worried that what I'm painting will look super soft and kind of gushy, because I'm liking how sharp those edges are. Change it, restart Photoshop. Oh, I will. I just won't do it while you guys are on, because I don't want to crash everything out potentially. You got string blasted. Yeah, my friend did too before she started figuring it out. She got on the inside of the wrist. What setting was it? Let me see. I actually do have my, I think I have my NVIDIA thing open. Let's take a look. It was one of the 3D settings things. What was it? Oh, image sharpening. That's what it is. I think. But yeah, I think it was one of the things that got recommended when I was trying to figure out what's going on with my video card, and I was on a site where they were showing how to optimize for games, and I think that's what it is, because it's definitely sharpened And I can't tell if you guys can see it because all of the, like my OBS and the Stream Manager are shrunk down, so everything looks sharper anyway. No, it's not a PS setting. It's a GPU. It's NVIDIA. Mm. It's hard because I really want to soften that brow ridge so it doesn't feel like it's kind of, you know, pinching the brow together like that. Yike, thanks for the follow. Welcome. This smooth little dome is very funny to me. Now let's get this doodle connected. Because he's no doodlebug without a doodle. His doodle amuses the shit out of me. I'll be honest. I disagree. Thanks, Lickens. Car ornaments. Jesus. Yeah, like a little pine fresh. What even is this guy? What is this about? Why is this happening? Okay, we need a little bit of bouncy bounce light. Let's richen that up quite a bit. Honestly, I don't know why this bug is flesh colored, but I am all in for it. It is hilarious to me. Does he look stinky to you? I don't know. I think this bug looks pretty freshly powdered. This is definitely a bug that uses powder, is all I'm saying. Yeah, 100%. This is a doodlebug that's a fan of the Epsom salts and has a variety of flavors. Alright, I gotta figure out what I was doing with these little hands he's got. I think maybe they were gonna be like little hooves. Oh no. Alright, Hammy, what's the color change gonna be? Here it comes. I think Hammy just thrives on my pain. He's a classic art director. You want to have a little remote on his belly? Alright, I can do that. That's fair. That's pretty cute. How's that? Does that work for you? Of course it'll get some buttons. It'll just get two buttons. Let's see. These are how I remember remotes as a kid. There was like 3 buttons on the damn thing, and that was it. There was a big, like, big knobby at the top. Does that work for you? All right. Let's, oh, what even are you? Yes, they're a little bit less that now. You lost your remote as a kid and went and pressed the buttons? Nice. I remember some remotes that had wires. But yeah, even then, still as a kid, most families had, that I remember, had like early infrared switches. I remember I read, I think I read about it, or maybe someone told me about it. I mix that up sometimes. But they used to have remote controls that were aurally based, like it listened to a specific tone or a switch sound, and that's what would make it change the channels. Have I still got where this piece started? Yeah, that's what it looked like when I first started. Yeah, I remember stuff like that, Cypher. And having rabbit ears with foil dangling off of them. And the little VCR built into the TV. Nice. Ancient. Positively ancient. It's kind of hard sometimes to remember it, but I think most of us were here before there was an internet. And like having to memorize phone numbers and shit like that. Using payphones. It's crazy. Crazy how much shit's changed. Pagers. I was one of the last of my group of friends to still have a pager. I was behind on everything. The last to get a cell phone. Something is off with... God damn it. I think that feels a little bit better. What do you think? Like he's actually looking at the TV. For some reason, on the outside, it just wasn't right. The eye is going to be reflecting both the window light and the TV, but that blue light is the TV I'm thinking right now. Oh my god, the AOL discs. I remember finding like hundreds of them in the streets where people would just like take a bunch from Blockbuster or whatever and just throw them. It's possible that it was me that did that. I don't remember. Plastic in the ocean. Thanks, Izzy. All right. Kids are dumb is the point. Real dumb. Nice. I definitely remember sticking a few in microwaves. Again, see aforementioned statement on stupidity of kids. He's very moisty. So slimy. Ah! Just a touch of contact shadow. You feel these missing snacks? What sort of snacks would a doodlebug have? Cheetos? Like Doodlebug, Doodle Puffs. I like his little fatty wrinkles. He's so cute. Cheese flavored puffed wheat snack. Ugh. None of that sounds appealing right now. Might be funny to put a bowl in his lap or something with some popcorns. But that's the thing, is it would have to be like right there. And I like this kind of gross torso fold I've created. Maybe if you had a bowl here or something. Garbage or another bug. Bowl could have tipped on the floor. Oh, yeah. That's a good idea, too. He's just so engrossed that there's just like Cheeto puffs on the floor. Well, let's set the stage. Let's do some narrative here. So I'll have a bowl here. We're gonna do some Doodlebug cheese doodles. It has to be a really uncanny orange color, of course, like most American snacks. Let's cool it off significantly. Dried ant heads. When you're doing like little groupings of things, it's a good idea to try to do 2 or 3 of whatever that group is going to be and make it really clear what they are, and then just hint and goddamn words failing me. Indicate. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Indicate the rest. Get some scale going. Relative scale to the area. So because that's in shadow, we can find some that are in light. Although, unfortunately, the ground is pretty orangey. I don't know. Now that I think about it, this might be tough. You had to make a mask for smoke and fire for 8-year-old key art? Ooh. Fun times, my friend. Cheese doo-doos. The mask took hours to do? Oh shit, is that what you've been crunching on? Damn, bruh. That sucks. Well, that whole time you should have been painting doodlebugs. I don't know what's wrong with me. Oh, let's take a break a minute. See, almost 2 hours in. That's not bad. Got to stretch the hand a little. Always a good idea. Hand gets a little crampy. He's got Cheeto paws. Made a nice iced coffee with some heavy cream. It's creamy. Lots of black and white versions to make the mask. Well, that's good. At least it was easy to mask in that respect, right? It was the infamous Second Son's key art. Oh, jeez. Oh, heavy cream and coffee is the best thing in the world. He needs dusting on his face. He needs Cheeto face. How can we do that? How can we convey Cheeto face there? That's a pretty good idea. I want to cheat. I'm inclined to just throw down some texture brush, but it's probably going to bite us in the ass. So let's do this on a separate layer first. How we can make this look like Cheeto dust and not herpes. Come on now. Uh-oh. I don't know if I'm making it work. Oh my god. Also, key art in regards to filmmaking can mean art that's used to kind of sell the idea. So you can do concept art that's key art also, where you'll do like sort of a perspective scene from a movie or scene from a game, something like that. And so it's more than just, it is marketing stuff, but also it can be, key art can be the artwork that's used to get projects greenlit. So I've done a bunch of key art for different movies, and it's used to be like kind of, this is what it'll look like. This is what creatures might look like in this world, that sort of thing. So there's a couple different definitions. I think we kind of have to also imply that he's got a Cheeto in his tentacles. It's just got to be done, you see? Okay, maybe the angle's bad. Let's do one of these. Is that any better? I don't know, gang. I don't know. We're definitely upsetting the Watchtower wives. Okay. No, we definitely have to do, like, a few. You vote for without, really? Let's see, let's turn it off and turn it on. Yeah. Yeah, I think you might be right. Just the dust? Okay. Well, I aim to please. Deleted. In that same vein that Thug is talking about, I remember one of my first jobs was working at Neversoft, and I did, when the concept art team was basically done with stuff, we ended up having to do a lot of key art like he's talking about. And it was then that I became super disenfranchised with like the art that you would see in magazines that represented the games, because turns out every single one was super doctored. Like there was no such thing as actually what the game looked like in a magazine back then. I I was gutted because I had been totally fooled by the advertising machine. They would smooth polygons like crazy. They would add lighting effects and lens flare. And the justification was always that, well, it looks better when it's in motion. It doesn't look good when it's sitting still. So we have to sell them on the idea of what it looks like in motion. So it was false advertising. Yeah, bull shots. Yeah. What was nuts is, I mean, it was stuff that even that I didn't think would be. Like, it wouldn't even need it. But, yeah. And back then we would use... Sometimes we'd use photo textures and things like that on top. And I remember thinking that it was total bullshit, and it made me so mad. And now it's totally normal to use loads of photos in your stuff. It's actually weird for, especially if you're doing anything slightly realistic, to use any to paint everything from scratch. I mean, it's very unusual. We've only really done that on oversized screenshots. Yeah. Well, I mean, nowadays, the renders can be almost photoreal. Excuse me. They can do amazing stuff. You just couldn't do it back then. I mean, things were so pixelated, and the models were so chunky. Just trying to paint in a nice ambient occlusion shadow here and seat the bug, Mr. Doodlebug. I got this brush off Dan Levisi, and it works great for rendering like really slow buildup and soft edges. It's basically just like a simple kind of grainy edged brush, but it works great for flesh. Thanks for coming back, Gareth. How did the game go? Who won? Still a bit to go. Nollins is winning. Nice, nice. That's a question for you two. When was the first time you had Cheetos, Gareth and Hammy? Was that always a common thing in the UK? Watsits? I love it. Do they taste any different, or is the texture different? I just remember, like, I went to Ireland. I went England and Ireland in a single trip, and I was shocked going down to like the little markets, and the crisps, the chips that they have there, they've got thousands of flavors. Like, firstly, no chip bag comes in anything bigger than this over there, and which seems reasonable. But as an American, I felt like it was a ripoff. But so many flavors. I loved how many awesome flavors you guys had. for your snacks. They're much better. What's it? Better flavor, worse texture. Really? Oh, prawn cocktail, so good. One of my favorites was like Thai pork or something. There was some kind of crisp. It was yeah, prawn cocktail. Sweet chili, that's the one. Thai sweet chili. Oh my god. Y'all are very lucky with your snacky snacks. Pickled onion. Oh my god. That sounds good. I remember when I discovered what were those Maui potato chips here in the States, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is the closest thing to what they've got in England and Ireland." Really good variety of flavors. And then I went to New Zealand, and then I fell in love with pies. Oh my god. This little, it's not a pot pie. Just, I guess, steak and cheese. Steak pies. Oh. If they had those, if they had like little pie shops here in the States, they would destroy everything else. The flavors were amazing. I'm making myself hungry talking about it. We do not have steak pies in the States. It's like the greatest sin ever. Get a vape pen from Danny. Oh my god. Those must be some damn good snacks, those pickled onion flavored monstrosities. Yeah, we don't think of pies like that. We have what we call pot pies, which they're good. They're savory, kind of flaky pies, but they're much more about the filling and less about the pastry. And they tend to be very, very heavy on the gravy and vegetables, where it's not like just like simple gravy and meat and the cheese. Yeah, they're just not the same. There was a shop down by you, Hammy, that King's Head or whatever it was. Sometimes they had pies, and they were decent. They weren't great. They were decent. Oh god, I want pies so bad. With some tomato sauce. Yes. Delicious. Yeah, I really, really got used to them in New Zealand. I spent several months in New Zealand altogether, and it just became, effectively as a uni student, it was all I ate. Was pies and macers. And drank a shitload of scrumpy. Do they have scrumpy in the UK? I imagine they do. Isn't that where it's from? That, like, really awful, super cheap cider. They're not good? You're talking about the ones from the King's Head? Well, I know better, but I have to pretend. Hey, Val, thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. Glad you could join us. No, I love pies. Good pies, but I have never had anything close to the real thing in the States. Ooh, I also really loved Cornish pasties and a beer. I never did get to try jellied, is it jellied eels, Hammy? I never got to try that. I'll have to give it a shot one of these days. It sounds so gross. I do not like eels. But I've heard that they're delicious, so... It's gotta be done. Nobody eats jellied eels. You've never had them? How about like proper English roast dinner? With that big pastry fluff thing. What is that? Oh, culinary hell over here. You've never even seen jellied eels? I've seen them. Yorkshire pudding, that's it. Yeah, I've never had Yorkshire pudding. I remember I had my first treacle in New Zealand, and it was amazing. I want pie so bad now. It's all I can think about. I had a pretty serious pie addiction. We don't talk about that. It's funny. It's when I'm using Levisi's brushes, I always like find myself just going to Render Town. I can see why he does it. It's just the brushes are so juicy for rendering. It's almost kind of like a really soft pastel feel. Hammy, you know how to make a roast? What the hell? You never made me a roast, brother? Come on. Yeah. I like Aussie's pie. Even their petrol station pies were pretty good. Although I only ever had the ones because I went to Australia for the weekend. And so I only visited one town while I was there. So I don't know if the pies anywhere else were different, but they were good. Sometimes you just gotta go to another country for the weekend, like a dumbass, and be super tired. Thankfully, there was lots of good drugs and alcohol to keep me awake for most of it. We can do the Comedy Fest in Sydney. The petrol station next to the hotel does incredible pies. Ah, that's the place to go. Hey, good night, Garrett. Thanks for hanging out, man. That was fun talking about pies. Thanks for making me super hungry. Woolloomooloo. There's a town called Woolloomooloo? That's awesome. Ooh, that's a good question, Cypher. What should be there on the mug? Woolloomooloo. That is such a great word. Yeah, okay, then I did. Oh, Wooloomalu? Really? That's not how you spelled it originally, or is it just pronounced that way? Wooloomalu. Yeah, I had Hannah's Pies where I went. I'm trying to remember the town. It was to the southeast. It was the big southeastern town, not Adelaide. That's not it at all. I'm totally spacing on the name. It reminded me a lot of San Francisco. Woolloomooloo? Is that it? Woolloomooloo? Goddamn Australia. It's like Israel Kamakabibo Ole. Oh, okay, interesting. In America, you don't eat food from the gas station? Well, depends on the person. I've been fairly adventurous. I have had gas station sushi. There is a reason I'm not in great health. I had California rolls from an AM PM once. No, I was so jealous of the food in New Zealand because when I was in uni, we were mostly, I mean, for the same price, you could get like a chicken bake or something from Costco, and it was garbage. Garbage. Yes, I did live to tell the tale. Best pies in Sydney. That's Woolloomooloo. Harry's Cafe. Ah, okay. Yeah, whatever. I'm pretty sure I had Hannah's Pies. I think that's what it was called, and they were from a petrol station in the town I went to that I can't remember the name of. Because I only went the one time and was blasted most of the time. That was back in the good old days when Wizards of the Coast would send you to events as an artist, put you up, give you a table. Ah, sigh. Woolloomooloo? Sounds like Willamette. Was it Gladiator Russell Crowe or was it later Russell Crowe? I guess you were there around Gladiator times, huh? Oh, wow, okay. Interesting. I actually hate what I did with these legs for the lighting from the TV, so I'm going to get rid of it entirely. And I'm going to paint on those legs a little bit more. Get them a little bit darker, I think. Damn it. Let's get out of that render brush. It's just slowing me way down. I like brushes that allow me to make big decisions really fast. I don't like... It is fun to render a noodle, but it's so slow. It's not my normal speed. Try as I might, I will never be a Dan Levisi. The man is just a class unto himself. That's alright, it takes all sorts. Pies are at the other end of the wharf from Russell Crowe. Yeah, I think you just narrowed down how he ended up a little chunker. Not that I'm one to judge. Oh god, the pies are good. Just so good. This lighting right here doesn't make any sense because the mug should be covering that. I should have a cast shadow from the TV. So real quick. Because the mug is not actually lit by the window light source. So its only light source is the TV. Therefore, the cast shadow from the mug needs to follow the rules from the TV's light source. And that's already better. Yep. It was the right choice. Double checking my black and white. He's looking pretty good. I still love the original drawing. That always happens. Like, I'll like the looseness and the, you know, the natural feel of the original sketch. No matter how finished and refined and sexy the final renders tend to be, I always like the sketch more. There's an amazing steak restaurant on the wharf too. What the hell is a carpetbag steak? That doesn't sound appealing at all. What's that about? Oh, Doodlebug. You are a weird and broken creature. What? It's a steak with a pocket cut in it where oysters and bacon are stuffed. That is highly upsetting. I imagine it's probably very tasty, but that sounds just nasty. I love oysters, I love bacon, I love steak, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I think the Australians may have gone too far. And what a name. I mean, a carpetbagger means something else entirely in the States. But I guess we already have established the differences between the species, like with words like fanny, which is always amusing to me. No. Yes. It is a highly amusing phrase there. I do know that. Are you going to be on later, Ham? Playing the War Zone? Or are you crunching right now? Maybe. Alright, so this needs to feel like plastic. So first things first, I'm going to light the window side. think I definitely made the eyes too big. The finger cramps. Hmm. Alright, let's finish out these slippers. I think we'll be at a good stopping point for the night. Finishing strong with fuzzy slippers? Hell yeah. So even though I had a fur brush, I want to break it up a little bit with some other kind of brush just to give some visual variety. So it doesn't feel just really, really digital. I'm very smitten with our silly little Doodlebug guy. Make another layer real quick. Oops. Do a screen, see how this looks. Gotta do his little McConnell neck pouch. That's where he saves the extra Cheetos. Elevates the naked mole rat look. I love it. I'm using the screen layer to kind of do a lazy man's subsurface scattering. It's working pretty well for that. It's all right. There's going to be a whole lot of tertiary detail that you can only read when you look at it close up. I am kind of concerned. So in the sketch, his eyes really pop because they're so bright. So I think I may have to let them be really bright instead of obeying the rules of the light. It might be worthwhile to actually break those rules just for the narrative feel. Pick a different color. And maybe the color will help it pop. So it'll be a mix of both the value shift and a big color pop. Yeah, I think that's better. Let's save real quick. Take a look in black and white. Yeah, it definitely makes his eyes pop a little bit more. I will probably push that even further when we come back to this, if everybody's still interested in watching me paint the Doodlebug. Because we still have to do the extreme foreground, the TV, probably another couple passes of bounced light on the figure to get it to feel really roundy and filled out. But I mean, the major work is done, so it's feeling pretty close to finished. I'd say we're at like 85%. So yeah, bounced lights, foreground, some texturing, and then accent values, and maybe just a little bit of playing around with some of the materials. Like I think that his little love sack beanbag could be maybe a different material, more satiny or something, so it doesn't feel quite so unrefined. But that's something we'll get to for the next one. You like the idea of an animated GIF just using the TV? Yeah, it's not a bad idea. It would be pretty easy to do, although I have baked in some of the light already. So the light that's there is baked in. I would basically have to do whatever the flash is of the TV would have to be brighter than that in order to pull that off. But I think that's doable to make sort of a silly animated GIF of him just staring at the TV. It would be great if I could get his eyes doing that little anime twitch thing too. That'd be a good spot. Yeah. Yeah, masks and adjustment layers, and it's. I don't think it would be terribly difficult to do. It would just be like broader speculars and maybe a bloom or something. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. For now, I think it's a good stopping point. I think the next time we meet, I will still be technically unemployed, so we can play around with whatever. But as things move forward with the job, I'm going to be talking with the social media director at the studio and seeing what I can get away with showing and how to make this, how to kind of marry the two projects together so that we're doing something that's fun to watch, but also is informative about how game dev works and things like that. I think it'll be pretty cool. Easy with an inverted crunch black and white version as the mask. Oh yeah, totally. And then changing the color or setting it to screen or something like that. Yeah, I think it's doable. But I always like the idea of if you're going to do an animated GIF, then try to add something that's more than just the light moving. I like to see like a little bit of life in the figure too. And we wouldn't need much. Maybe even like a little breathing, some inflation. But yeah, it's not hard. Photoshop makes this sort of stuff pretty easy. Anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed yourselves, had a good time, learned a little something. And yeah, until next time, which will be Tuesday 5 p.m. and then after that Thursday at noon. But my schedule is likely to change with the new job, and we'll talk about that then. So I'll keep you posted. Until then, paint smart, paint sexy.
I'm Izzy, a professional writer, concept artist, and illustrator. I've taught painting for a dozen years or so, on and offline. Many of your favorite illustrators and designers have studied with me or under me and have gone on to teach in their own right. You're here because, like they did, you want to learn to paint realistically for illustration or concept art. Well, worry not. You're in the right place. Grab a seat. I want you to join me as I explain all the aspects of image making in extremely digestible and clear monthly lessons. Not through the lens of silly how to paint hair or eye demos. That shit is carnival tricks. And you're not really learning anything except an exact way to render one thing in one manner. This is painting mysticism at its worst. Watching these kinds of exploitative lessons won't help you level up with your understanding. Sure, now you can paint sparkly hair, but what if you want to paint a dragon, or figure out how to render a sea of fire, or depict a one-eyed transgender space marine dying in the vacuum of space? Painting and image making are tools of communication, and can be learned by anyone willing to put in some time. Like grammar is for language, light, color, and form literally follow a formula. Painting well is not a matter of chicken bones, zombie crackers, and the ever-dismissive concept of talent. Learning with my series, Izzy's Logic of Light and Color, will give you the tools and understanding so you can analyze light and form in reality and bring it to life in your work. Using this simple system I have distilled will help you harness your art to share your ideas as you've always intended. When we are children, we all draw in symbols. Symbols for our house, our hands, the sun, the grass, our pet lobster. As we grow into artists, we must learn to throw away symbols and begin to draw and paint what it is we actually see. And as we grow further, we learn to paint beyond what we see and what is actually there. Until finally we move beyond this and learn to trim away what is actually there so we voice only what we want. With me, you're going to have to buckle in and maybe take some pain meds, because I'm going to rip out your normal person's eyes and replace them with a painter's eyes. I'm going to restructure how you see and how you understand what you're seeing. I'm going to turn you into a painting machine. Truly, anyone can learn to paint realistically if they can both determine what they're seeing or imagining with basic and straightforward rules. Once you understand the mechanics of light, color, and form in reality, you will have the capacity to paint anything you can see or imagine realistically. After that, the real fun begins. Here are some of the ways you can join me and master the logic of light and color. The very first lesson of my series is totally free on my YouTube channel. In that lesson, I give you the 3 primary rules of light that are the very foundation of painting and understanding light itself. If you do nothing else to make your painting mastery easier, at least watch this amazing little lesson. It will do more for your basic understanding of light than just about any tutorial you can find. When you're ready to get deeper and you feel like you have those first rules figured out, allow me to utterly blow your mind with the next episodes available on Gumroad and ArtStation. As we go deeper into the rules underlying the logic of light and color, I carefully and simply explain important and interesting elements. From beginner to pro, there is an amazing amount of information available. Each concept has been distilled into the clearest explanation you're likely to find anywhere. Like episode 2, where we cover the atmospheric effect and how that relates to light, scale, and distance of objects in reality, and how to render it. Or episode 3, where I hand over the ultimate key to controlling value in your paintings. Episodes 5 through 8 are all about rendering materials. Want to understand the logic behind rendering metal, leather, hair, transparency, damn near anything. I even cover the logic behind painting special effects like fire, neon, or lightsabers in later episodes. The lessons just get deeper and more detailed as I build on the foundations covered in preceding episodes. The 10th gives you the most important rule of composition you'll ever learn to keep your images interesting. The next few episodes cover important painting techniques like my edge control ninjutsu or simplification with the large to small system. We dip a toe in color theory, devote a few episodes to finishing full-blown illustrations utilizing the techniques we've learned so far. Some episodes, like the lighting game or Advanced Exercises 1, the shirt, present cheap, valuable, and practical exercises to give you explosive growth in your development. Episodes 22 through 25 cover painting and illustration, just like I do for Magic the Gathering, from assignment and inception to signing the painting at the end. Each one is full of tips, knowledge, everything to make working as an illustrator easier. Did you enjoy learning how to paint basic materials? Metal, wood, and such? I got 3 whole episodes devoted to the intricate logic behind painting different kinds of skin. After that, more lessons devoted to pumping life into your portraits and original methods for accurately drawing faces out of your head. From fundamentals to photo bashing, Gumroad and ArtStation have every lesson I create available for purchase a la carte. But here's an even better way to learn with me. Stay current with my latest lessons on Patreon for the lowest price available. Monthly support gets my student that month's lesson, a critique or paint over of their finished work, a discount code for 25% off the entire Gumroad archive, and access to the Logic of Light and Color Discord community, where we plan future lessons, share knowledge, and learn together as a team. The absolute best method is to join my Patreon classroom at the Student Plus tier, where you'll get everything I just mentioned and a free episode from the archive every month to accelerate your mastery at your own pace. You've decided to take control of your painting and master Izzy's Logic of Light and Color. Now it's up to you to choose the path that's best for you. I'll see you on the flip side. Paint smart, paint sexy.